All right. Hey guys, it's Turok. Trying to keep my throat clear. Wait, go back. And I'm gonna go over today's the next One Piece chapter. It just came out. Didn't even know it came out. I usually see a notification from the I'm part of that one Discord channel. I think it's like a main one. So anyways, yeah. Damn. Don't know where to start. This chapter certainly, Oda certainly knows how to end the year off with a lot of stuff happening. And also, in some ways, you can tell this is the end of the, you could say the end of the Egghead arc, because much like we saw in the beginning of this arc about 15 chapters ago, a lot of stuff is happening at once. So Oda, instead of focusing solely on what's happening on Egghead Island this time, this chapter is going to be about other things happening as well as Egghead Island. So quickly, in the last chapter, we had we start seeing a fight with the Seraphims helping the Straw Hats temporarily because Sentomaru was not yet out of the picture, and we found some more lore about how what's his name, Vegapunk has modified these Seraphims to use other Devil Fruit abilities, and eventually Sentomaru is knocked out. Unfortunately, while he is knocked out, things still are kind of in the Straw Hats' favor. Particularly in the last chapter, we saw that Lucci definitely could not take down Luffy this time. By the way, I I missed a couple things, like when I was commenting on how Luffy used that one attack and punched Lucci right in the stomach. Now, I didn't realize that I keep forgetting that due to his awakened abilities, because his abilities are basically this cartoonish stuff, and awakened abilities involve affecting environments. When he punched Lucci, and I commented on the panel of the punch going through the stomach, that was really happening because of Luffy's abilities. In this case, it can literally happen in Luffy's case. I think there was something else, but I forget now. The other thing was that I didn't realize that when Luffy and the others had escaped after the fight, they evacuated. The reason Luffy was looking so old and decrepit looking, I thought that he felt sick riding this thing through these tubes that I described, like being through how like banks have those things you can put check in when you're at a drive-through. The reason Luffy looks like that is because this was the side effect now of his similar to Gear 3rd did to him back when he was on Endy's Lobby. This is a side effect of him using Gear 5th now. The use of his somewhat of a drain on his body. So those are things I didn't understand quite clearly. Excuse me. So we ended off the chapter with a couple things happening that one of them follows up today, and the other we don't quite know what's going to happen yet until next chapter. And that was Bonnie leaves to find Vegapunk, and that Kizaru's coming close to the island and is ordering more warships from nearby to come in. Unfortunately, he's probably going to be pretty pissed about some stuff we're going to see happen today. Let's see. Yeah, so let's go to the next chapter. So, wait a sec. Next chapter. So next chapter doesn't appear to be a chapter cover this time. This time it starts with showing Kuma, what happened to him after he uses his fruit. And what's interesting here is this might be the first time, I'm not sure, we see how his fruit ability truly works, where it's when he sends someone away. The way it looked like is it almost made it look like, especially in the anime, maybe the manga too. When we saw him use it to Perona, like it looks like he teleports them, but really he sends them flying. And we see this happen how he did it to himself, And what he's done here, what we see here is him flying across the ocean. He's looks like he's about good 20, 30, no, he's tall. So it's like 70 feet above the water flying across. And his destination, we find out that he, I don't understand this would be his intended location, because we all assumed he's heading for Egghead Island because of Bonnie being there, but he ends up hitting the red line right above the red port, and other people who are there, citizens are there, end up seeing him there, and shoot. This is a bit interesting too to realize about what kind of news they hear, because they comment on how they heard he fled the fled the Holy Land. So I'm wondering if that was a translation error. I was thinking that just meant that they didn't know that the Revolutionary Army was involved. I'm going to say they probably don't, because I'm suspecting that some of that stuff with the Revolutionary Army, some of their actions, unless it's really bad, is clamped down as much as the government can keep it out of the newspapers in here. Let's see. So the last thing we see with him is he wakes up, and he wakes up here, and it almost looks like a repeat. They're making it kind of looks like Oda's framing this as a repeat of what happened with the robot that woke up 200 years ago and destroyed stuff in Marijois that Vegapunk described to us. He gets up and we see citizens running away. Hold on. He's waking up. It looks like he's messed up still. Although those machine parts that were on him before are not present this time. Looks like they flew off. And then we start just seeing as he's waking up, and he stands up and he's staring at the world government logo that's on the red wall, the wall there, the red line. We get the voiceovers of emergency messages warning the citizens to evacuate and trying to get more Marines nearby deployed to stop him. And that's where it ends with him. And also they point out we know he has a man. They make an interesting statement there. He has no shred of humanity, and his current purpose and programming are unknown. And that's something interesting. I'll come back a little bit. We still don't find out why Vegapunk did this. But it sounds like in a chapter or two we may find out, because Vegapunk will kind of hint that it was purposeful, but we don't know yet. So now we switch to back to Egghead, and we see we switch between the Straw Hats and Lucci and his group a lot here. And it starts off with Lucci and Kaku and Stussy ordering the other agents with them to I should maybe have this the other way next time, to try to start finding exits and locking down as much of the place as possible to keep Vegapunk from leaving, obviously. And then we jump over to Stussy, Lucci, and Kaku trying to figure out what to do now that they know that the alarm is on up there. That alarm, security system is up that will laser them the way Kaku had happened to them. Let's see. So next, also we find how Stussy's pointing out that they're supposed to be still waiting for the Navy or Marines to come, and Lucci's staunchly still gonna go ahead and try to get Vegapunk, even though continue the mission and such too, even though Luffy as an emperor status is now involved. And Lucci's response is just to say that I refuse to accept Luffy or Straw Hat as a emperor, which is Lucci. I agree with you in some ways, because I think the label of calling Luffy a emperor, the title, I get that the title sounds prestigious and powerful, but I just think that the practical use of it, because an emperor usually refers to a monarch of a nation ruling over his or her own nation, or emperor or empress if it's used, and then other nations as well. But anyways, what he's probably meaning is he's pretending Lucci's making a point that we get this so he can continue the mission, that pretend Luffy is not an emperor status, so that he can ignore the orders, the rules they would have to follow. The saying that say the I forgot my head. That say they have to stand down in the face of an emperor in the way of their mission. What's really interesting too, because what would they have done then? That's an interesting query, a thing to think about. What would have happened with their mission? They spent years, CP9 with Lucci and Kaku and the others that were there. What would they have done if let's see, well, just as a second. No? I just want to get myself in the middle. What would they have done if their mission to get Pluton had been, say, Big Mom, because she supposedly has such a great network of spies. What if she had sent one of her higher ups children that also could be undercover there? Well, maybe just because her children are there. I'm thinking about if something drew Big Mom there, perhaps she came herself in this case, too. I guess her children would not be enough. When the CP9 have had to stop their mission to get Pluton, when they've pulled out, or Lucci back then had tried to complete it anyways. We can see from his power now and power then, his overall strength, etc., that he would not have stood a chance against Yonko, and he certainly could do much better now. But it's certainly yeah, I get what he's going for here. So anyways, so we're switching over to the other Straw Hats. That means not Luffy, Chopper, Jinbei, and they're they're seeing what's happening and trying to plot what they're going to do to escape. And Shaka's seeing what the CP0 agents are doing, and they're figuring out, like, they're having a lack of options and as to what to escape, because their ships were probably all destroyed. As we saw, I think they did say that. Did they mention get the ships? Yeah, they said destroy the ships. So Shaka is very shrewdly just seeing what's going on and trying to figure out what to do. And I guess, and he points out too that he can't use the robot that we saw earlier because it only works near the island. And then Lilith thinks this is a great opportunity to just go out there and fight them then. Now, so she's just very hot-headed and kind of like Luffy in some ways here in this way, and where she's thinking, okay, well, let's just stop them right here and take them on. They're on our turf anyways. Sorry, I have to keep doing this because my throat's bothering. So, Pythagoras is like, no, we're not going to do that, and we shouldn't worry because they should not be able to get up here either way. And Shaka reprimands Lilith, like, if you can't provide any good insight or advice to help us, just shut up, or be quiet. And the other one, what's her name now? The one that does all the eating for them. She's behind there stuffing herself, and she what was her name? Hold on, I should find her name again. So all the other ones are here. York's there in the background, the one I couldn't think of, eating, and she's pretty oblivious to what is going on. And Edison's just flying around, or is he just jumping there? And he's just like, oh. I'm sure he knows what's going on, but he's just says they are coming up with a new idea. This is gonna be a real cutting edge idea, a thing to get down. Meanwhile, and Vegapunk's in the middle here. So where we got here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Wait. So where's Atlas? Who am I missing there? Who's not there? Edison, Shaka. Oh, never mind. Most of them are right there, and Vegapunk's assessing the obvious part of the situation, that they're not going to be able to escape without somehow fighting, and So next we have Lilith just getting really arguing with Shaka about why can't we fight back, and Shaka points out that this is not what we need to protect Vegapunk above all else. This is our duty. He's the main body. And Lilith just gets in his face and is like, your goody act is getting on my nerves. And this scene was this is probably my favorite part of this scene. Characters like her, where they get in your face like that, I like it when the other character can respond calmly and coolly, and this is what Shaka does, and he's just like, that's too bad. And it's like, yeah, I like it a lot. Like, I don't care if you don't like it now, especially right now of all times. We're in a situation where we have to focus, and you running off. And also, he even said in a panel before, running off on a vendetta will only cause us trouble. Oh, I think because she's I think that's what she said there. That's right, because she wants to avenge Atlas. And this is an interesting part that comes up. I don't know what they're referencing here, but Vegapunk is feeling sad at this point that Sensumaru got hurt. And Edison brings up, no, it's Pythagoras, sorry. He brings up, like, we have another ally on the island. Shouldn't we call upon them to get to bring in the backup? And Edison is completely opposed to this for some reason. And says, won't we be risking them too? So somebody there that's important somehow, that Edison doesn't want to risk their safeties, but Pythagoras is convinced can help them against CP0 is apparently here. Oh, yeah. Because he says if they help us, the government, they'll have nowhere to hide from the government if they do this. And then Vegapunk, Stella is the tiebreaker, and then he sides with Pythagoras basically and says, yeah, I'm gonna and he just goes over to a communication panel area and just says, hey, can you help me out? And someone resorts back, oh, that's clever. So Oda cleverly covers up the eyes of because usually you see the face of not usually, I guess always see the face of if you look at it directly, you can see the face of the Denden Mushies and who's on the other end. And Oda cleverly has this panel where you see the Denden Mushies lower half, but you can't see the eyes. And someone reports back, yes, I'll come. I've been waiting for this. And so some of the kind of reinforcements are about to come in. So that, wow, I want to see who that is. At first when I read this panel, I misunderstood that they were there. And I kind of thought he meant that Pythagoras meant that we should call on dragons. For a second, I thought I was saying crocodile. In a previous video, I accidentally was saying crocodile or saying dragon, one or the other, when I was meaning to say the other. Also, it's funny, right in the panel right before, I forgot when Edison was getting upset about that Pythagoras suggested this person help. We can see that York is falling asleep now and is not paying attention to the events unfolding anymore. So the next panel here is just like Vegapunk is celebrating that this person is going to help us. And Edison points out, oh, this should be great now, and escaping should be extremely easy, especially since Stella. He refers to when Vegapunk others, they refer the Stella. They refer to him as the Stella, or just Stella maybe, or just the Stella. The Stella. So they're. Yeah, Edison points out that between the help of this other person that Vegapunk asked for, and the Straw Hats being able gonna help them escape, it should be easy to avoid CP0. So Lilith points out that let's just get going on the robot, the Vega Force 1. And funny, she to show how much she doesn't like Shaka, when he says, "I approve, let's get going," she yells at him like, "Who put you in charge?" So now, oh yeah, so while this was all happening right here, the Straw Hats are still in the background. I forgot right there. Right, yeah, were they? Did they show up? Oh yeah. The other Straw Hats have been in the back during this whole conversation. So Vegapunk turns over to them and says, "Oh, all right, guys, I'm ready. Let's please take all of us to to your ship." And Nami and Usopp don't seem quite keen on this idea. Like it's going to be a pain. Oh, that was something else. So I didn't realize until I was thinking afterward, or watching Tekking's review, how much Nami's really not keen on this idea of, like, I think of getting the government after them more than they have to. But so I guess I just didn't think about her being so against stuff like this, but I guess she's really just trying to think of, like, okay, well, there's only our small crew right now, and as powerful as we've become, I guess she's just worried about the idea of, having warships after them all the time. But, I mean, between Zoro and Sanji and Luffy, I would think they could do pretty well, unless an admiral came after them directly, which it's going to be interesting soon. Hopefully, we'll see what happens with Kizaru soon. If any of these guys can, Sanji's the one where everyone is like thinking he'll be his main foe. What will become of that kind of a fight? And Frankie's just happy that Lilith Chan's coming, though I'm surprised he said that. Okay. So now we switch over to so now we switch to Bonnie heading toward where Vegapunk and the other Straw Hats are, and Luffy and Chopper are after her. They're stopping her from going there, and part of the reason she's upset this time is she thought the bugs coming after her were purposeful. Boy, did Oda make a good drawing of her angry. So now something interesting here happens. Let me see if I see it. This moment was funny too. Yeah. So now we change over to suddenly seeing the back to where the CP0 is, and suddenly this message is saying that the defenses have been turned offline, and then it shows the other satellites hearing this and wondering what the hell happened, and Lilith's thinking, oh, someone must have gotten in here and turned them off, and Pythagoras is like, nope, that couldn't have happened, and it switches back to the Kaku and Stussy and Lucci's like, hey, it's down, this is our chance, let's hurry. But Lucci's like, wait, this could be a trap, like, hold on. But they end up flying up anyways with their Geppo. And one of them even says, for this to happen, the heavens must have abandoned you. Oh, excuse me. No, let's see. So they get up there and they see what Straw Hat. Oh, that's right. That's why this happened. Okay, I read this before and there's something else I missed. I gotta really start reading this more. So they see, that's right, because Lilith brought their ship up there, and they see the gold, the Sunny up there, and by the robot. What's it called again? The Vega Force, and Kaku's prepared to. Oh yeah, so Lucci's pointing out, okay, we got to get rid of this ship. We got to take out their ship because all the elements are destroyed. Then they won't have any way of escaping. Oh, and this is a great moment in this. This is probably a moment everyone's gonna like the best. I like the one before I mentioned with Shaka saying, "I don't care what you think of me, Lilith." Just kind of like the little things like that. But what happens here is awesome. So Kaku is preparing to attack the ship. He goes up toward it and he's using his Tempest Kick Sky Slicer. And our favorite drunk swordsman Zoro wakes up and deflects it with his sword. We see him simply with a silhouette at first, waking up, looking like he's got a hangover a bit. And he has his sword of shing and deflects it. And it's got side by side with him and Kaku. And he's like, and Zoro says, "Who interrupted my nap?" And Kaku looks so freaking scared. I don't think it looks like he did not want to fight Zoro again. Unlike Lucci, who's got that carnivorous bloodlust in him, that's more natural than anything, but then probably intensified by his carnivorous nature, zone nature. But who let the guard? Actually, I got confused by something here. In the way when this happened, I thought this meant Zoro was nearby the defenses and may have turned them off. But no, he must just happen to still be on the ship. Must have been there. And then we don't see where Brook is in this chapter. We just see Zoro sleeping on the deck. Oh yeah, he must be right there in the middle, the main deck toward the side there. But it doesn't show where Brook went off to. I'm pretty sure we haven't seen Brook since the last time him and Zoro were shown together when they were having tea together and Caribou was there. So, so we go back to clarify this part with the defenses. We go back to the control room and Pythagoras. Pythagoras points out, yeah, I got the frontier, the defenses back on, but the agents are already up here. And Shaka immediately starts thinking, oh, they're going to go after the Sunny. And so, yeah, Pythagoras confirms, oh, it's already happening. They're going over there, but luckily one of the Straw Hats are still there and they're defending it. And this gets Lilith excited, and we see her loading up a laser gun or powering on, and like, oh, this means I get to fight after all. And finally, we get the Straw Hats reuniting, the other Straw Hats reuniting, and Luffy's coming down. Bonnie, is Bonnie there yet, too? So we see Luffy coming down, and Nami's yelling to him. And now the others inform him of what's happening. And Luffy's quite upset to be having to leave already. But Chopper points out, no, is it Chopper? No, Usopp, sorry. Usopp points out, yeah, I wanted to stay, but come on, we're on a government island. This is not a safe place now, especially now. Oh, so somebody's lost Bonnie at this point. And he asked if the others have seen Bonnie. How did that happen then? So then, it's like, have you seen Bonnie? And then Robin. I keep thinking her first name's Nico. Robin points out, where's Vegapunk too then? Wow, I went through this chapter too fast today. So now we get no, not quite there yet. We get to a part where Bonnie is chasing after Vegapunk Stella. And he looks like he's flying or something using his shoes. And she's swinging after him with whatever weapon she had there. I forgot. And she's yelling at him about, can you turn my dad back to normal? And he says, I can't, but I have a reason for doing that. And that's where that part I was telling earlier where it ended off. We don't know why why he did it yet. And hopefully the next chapter might lead up to something with that. But so we have a couple, this is where the chapter skips to two more parts outside of the main story. We start off with... Let's see if I got that other chapter, because I needed to pull up something for this. This was interesting. One second. No. Right here. Yeah, so we switch here to Captain Kidd and his crew. And they are surfing, they are in the panel just is somewhere in the waters of the new sea. But I had to pulled up the map, because where they're about to end up, I figured where the island they were drawing lots from when they were on Wano. and Killer's there, looking at some. He has a paper in his hand. I don't know if that was supposed to be part of a map, and he yells the kid to wake up and ask his permission if we should go around this island. And Kid looks like he's like, why would you even ask me that? We always go exploring islands. I'll never pass on that. But Killer says, I know you usually do that, but this might be different. I think we've ended up at Elbath. I keep looking at that because I think I have to send it, but I gotta look here. So this was something interesting. I just realized something very interesting with this when I read this earlier. I went back to the chapter 1056 or so, where 1056, yeah. So I don't know if this is where they meant to end up, because I remember Kid seemed to know what that phrase is. The man with the, what was that phrase here? Was that in this chapter? What's this second? Let's see. Embarked by flames. Oh, is that what it means? Duh. That must be what it means. Wait a minute. Let me read this again. Hold on. Okay, that makes more sense now. And now I gotta go watch Tekken's video. I wonder if he figured this out. So, I think Tekken sent his review. So, Kid and Killer had a discussion here about, because after they got the poneglyph, or copy of a road poneglyph, they realized if we gotta stay ahead, Killer said if we want to stay ahead of them, we gotta get serious about that guy. And Killer said, the man marked by flames, but we got no leads. And Luffy had no idea what that meant. And Law and Robin looked like they did. Now this all makes sense. I think this refers to Saul D. Jaguar, is that his name? He is all damaged up from, well, I thought he was damaged by the ice from Aokiji. But I'm thinking that's what they meant. I gotta go look back now. So he's at Elbath trying to get information about the One Piece from Jaguar, because he's got the library there or something. Damn, is that what that means? That's real interesting if that's what it is, that he's come there to fuck the Jaguar. It's like, how did he meet? Let me make sure I got that name right too. Yes, so I have to review that. I went over that a month ago, but now I still forgot if that's how he ended up getting hurt there. I know he was all bandaged up because when Vegapunk showed his we saw him in a flashback through Vegapunk's point of view a few chapters ago with him talking to Robin about the how the stuff from O'Hara has been saved, and he went to visit Jaguar on Elbath. But this raises a lot of questions of how Kid, or possibly even Law would know about Jaguar and how they may have met him before, unless no, that was years ago he was there, so they wouldn't have known him unless they were little kids. No, they wouldn't have been alive then, I think. But actually, the other thing I wanted to point out was when I realized he was here, I was thinking back to the part in that same chapter here. I gotta pull up the directions again, where Kid, Law, and Luffy drew lots to decide where they were gonna go, because 3 islands showed up near Wano. One in east, one northeast, one southeast. And Law ends up picking northeast, and Kid and Luffy initially picked the same one, and then they drew again or something to pick, and it looks like Kid had gotten east, so this must be where Elbath is. So now we've finally figured out where these 3 islands are. Unless this was another island in the way. Actually, that was another thing I was just thinking. What if this island? I wonder if the government really knows where Elbath is. I'm a little skeptical that maybe the island on the maybe Elbath isn't part of the log pose, and they just happen to run into it as they're heading toward the east from Wano here. But so northeast is where. But definitely then Law went northeast, northeast, and he found an uninhabited island where Blackbeard waited to ambush him. Luffy ended up going southeast then, where Egghead is, and this possibly is the island to the east, Elbath, which would make sense one way or the other, whether it's really that same island or somewhere nearby, because it's so close to Egghead that Vegapunk would have an easy time going there to see the Ohara library that's sitting there now. So that's very interesting. And so the last bit of the chapter, this is great. It looks like we're about to have some other naval war fronts, because now we got CP0 and Kizaru is about to go to Egghead because they got to take out Vegapunk, and Luffy happens to be there. And oh God, this is great. So we start off with showing that we're back at the G14 naval base where Homepo is, and where he was there with Captain what's her name? Oh, Comet Smoker's right hand girl. I can't think of her name right now, but she's not in this chapter. But we see Dahl talking to Vice Admiral Garp, and it looks like Dahl has been summoned through Kizaru to go help reinforce at Egghead. I forget what her rank is, by the way. I'm gonna have to start making like my own little page to all these characters and stuff with pictures next to them, because I can never find a good one on internet. And he starts laughing when she says that, and he's like, and she's like, what are you thinking about launching an offensive against an emperor? Did you even ask the admirals or what's Akainu's rank again? The fleet admiral. And he's like, what? Why would I do that? And Dahl's like, you've been here you've been in the Navy this long, and you never got fired with that after having that kind of attitude. And I was thinking, clearly you didn't understand how much he's done for the Navy, and the kind of friends in high places he has to not get fired, Dahl. And he's like, whatever, don't worry about it. Besides, I'm already here. Come on, let's go. So we see a ship coming outside the around G14, and other people at first thinking, some of the other officers yelled at Hamepo like, oh, it's a pirate ship, what do we do? And he identifies it. And Hamepo goes out there and yells to Garp like, well, Kobe got captured, I couldn't do anything. And this is so good. So Garp says, oh, don't worry about it. Get on board. We're going to go over there and save Kobe. Oh, that's right. And that other girl's happy about this too. Oh my God, the Marines are definitely going to kick him out after this. So him and Lucci, and we shouldn't care about Lucci, but him and Lucci are probably about to get kicked out of the Marines for doing this. He's about to go raid Blackbeard's island, which this might actually be successful because we don't know. Blackbeard and most of his officers don't appear to be there. But what if what's his name's there? Ice guy. I can't think of his name. So he's about to head over there. Oh, what if Blackbeard does come back and he's got Law? This could be very interesting. We don't know what happened with that fight. That was so many chapters ago. Probably like 10 chapters ago. We don't know what the results of that fight were yet. Oh man, there's a lot to unpack here. Oh my God. All right. And also my favorite part, the second favorite part again was like seeing like Kaku and Zoro. Obviously the chapter's over. Kaku, that's where the chapter ended. Wait, was there any good color panels in this one? There wasn't. Oh, that stinks. So, yeah, a lot of shit happened. So we don't, let's see, I'm just trying to think about, oh yeah, we still don't know much about what happened with Stussy either. All right, I think I'll just end the chapter there. I'm just gonna have to make another video to go over some of this stuff sometime. There's enough here now. I'm just gonna want to make a second video while I think on this stuff. Like, holy crap. Garp starting a battle with the Emperor, Lucci going up against the Emperor, And Kizaru's coming there still. We still don't know what happened to Kizaru. Well, we still don't know what see Kizaru there, and now Kuma's at the Red Lion. What the hell's he gonna do there? The way he's looking at that, we saw him last too. I forgot he was looking at the panel, not the panel, the wall with the world government thing. All right, yeah, I'll just end this here. Have a good, happy New Year. Well, maybe I'll do another video before then.